We are educating our network of investors as to why Bittensor is an interesting thing for them to look at, and we are going to help investors identify what are the great projects within Bittensor for them to invest in.
So the whole purpose of this channel is to make life-changing returns by being an early-stage investor in revolutionary technology. It's the most efficient way of reaching financial freedom. And there is no reason why other people have done it in the past and why you can't do the exact same thing, right? Bitcoin was revolutionary early on, not understood. There are other assets now totally revolutionary and not as understood. So today we're going to hear from Barry Silbert, who was one of those OG early stage investors in Bitcoin, became a billionaire, and what he sees next as that next early stage opportunity to provide life-changing returns. Here's Barry Silbert.
I learned about this thing called Bitcoin. It would have been 2011. I said, you know what? I think that this has the potential to be world-changing. And I remember thinking at the time, if I didn't have the cojones to actually do something, I would regret it the rest of my life. And so I started buying $1,000, $5,000 over Mt. Gox. And lo and behold, I bought a couple $100,000 of Bitcoin.
At what price?
Between $7 and $8. You know, over the next 6 or 12 months, the price started going, I think, into like the 50s, 60s, 70s. And so I started looking for companies that were building kind of the first generation of infrastructure to make Bitcoin useful and accessible. And so along the way, I met Brian Armstrong, and so invested early in Coinbase, and I invested early in Chainalysis, and invested in Ripple, and a bunch of kind of the first generation of companies that were built around that time.
So he did exactly what every single early stage investor on the planet should do. Look at the current landscape of technology, find the most undiscovered, understood assets on the planet, and buy them and make life-changing returns, which he obviously did. He became a billionaire. So what is he looking at next as that next opportunity does not get bigger than this?
We are educating our network of investors as to why Bittensor is an interesting thing for them to look at, and we are going to help investors identify what are the great projects within Bittensor for them to invest in. The evolution of Bittensor is now this concept of subnets, and subnets are essentially applications that are kind of utilizing Bittensor infrastructure to incent competitions, mainly AI-related competitions. So each one of these subnets now have tokens. So it's a very interesting ecosystem where each subnet has its own token. So all of these teams are trying to build businesses, deliver products and services via their subnets. But at the end of the day, kind of all roads kind of lead back to TAO.
Okay, so all roads lead to TAO, Bittensor TAO. We talk about this asset all the time on this channel. And what he's doing now is investing in the subnets that make up TAO. So remember, TAO is like Bitcoin in that it rewards miners, but the miners, in the case of Bittensor TAO, are solving real world problems. So like AI, machine learning, biotech, even potentially mining for Bitcoin and giving that hash rate over to the TAO network. That's happening. That's subnet 14. So each one of these subnets is doing something revolutionary. And what his mission is to spread the word. He sees the potential, just like he saw the potential back in the early days of Bitcoin or in the early days of TAO. What he wants to do is educate people on which of these underlying subnets, these TAO miners, are the right ones to invest in, are the highest quality. And he has a company called Yuma, which is investing in these assets. So here's a post. Bittensor TAO ecosystem is on fire, and Yuma is thrilled to keep adding kindling. These are his company, Yuma-backed subnets, Precog, subnet 55, Infinity Games, subnet 6, Sturdy, subnet 10, Real-Time Data, subnet 42, Score, subnet 44, Dippy Speech, subnet 58, Agent Arena, subnet 59, Bitsec, subnet 60, Redteam, subnet 61, Vericore, subnet 70, and FLock, subnet 96. A lot of these are deep value. If you want to know how to invest in these, I posted a video last week, how to rake in profits from Bittensor subnets. Check that out. That gives you the step-by-step playbook of how to start buying these subnets. These are Barry Silbert's favorite ones. These are the ones he put money behind. And again, a lot of these are selling off at deep discount and paying off 100+% APY a year in passive income. If you hold these assets, you earn the mining rewards essentially of these assets. It's like mining early Bitcoin. So it's really important to pick the right ones because we're now over 100 of these subnets. So here's Barry Silbert, FLOC, Subnet 96 is now live on Bittensor TAO, accelerated by Yuma Group. FLOC compresses high quality data for small language models and enables on-device optimization. That's FLOC, Subnet 96. Here's another one, AI agents plus Bittensor TAO, brought to you by Masa and Yuma Group. So this is Subnet 59, and this comes from Masa. Introducing the AI Agent Arena, Masa Subnet 59 on Bittensor, a gamified arena where AI agents compete for TAO emissions. So their mission is to have AI agents compete against each other, solve tasks, and in doing so, create the best AI agents on the planet. This is open source training of AI agents, and it's exponential. That's Subnet 59. Now, what is Masa? Well, Masa secures new funding from Barry Silbert's company, Digital Currency Group, to expand real-time data network and launch AI Agent Arena on Bittensor. So they're enabling decentralized AI through dynamic data and innovative collaboration. So Barry Silbert literally is raising money for these two subnets. Subnet 42, Subnet 59. Masa's real-time data subnet is Subnet 42. It's on that list. And then the Agent Arena is Subnet 59. That's also on that list. Masa's new Fair AI stack consists of 3 key components. An AI agent builder for creating customizable self-improving agents, a real-time data layer processing over 10 million daily data records across social platforms. That's Subnet 42, and the Agent Arena, that's Subnet 59. So this is a short video, but it's just introducing you to some of these, right? Subnet 96, FLOC, Subnet 42, real-time data by Masa, and Subnet 59, the Agent Arena. And here's another one. Yuma is on fire with the launch of the 7th subnet out of our accelerator program, all built on Bittensor TAO. Another week, another Yuma subnet launch, introducing Redteam Subnet 61, which incentivizes ethical hacking to power real-world cybersecurity tools. Subnet 61 will push the boundaries of detection mechanisms. So what we're talking about is open source software incentivized by TAO emissions. We have AI agents, we have AI data, and now we have cybersecurity. And if we just take a look at the amount of APY you can get by just buying and holding these alpha tokens, your mind will be blown, because it's life-changing passive income. So if we look at FLOC off, Subnet 96, literally right now, if you stake with TAO.bot, you're earning 700% a year. If you're staking with Roundtable 21, you're getting 290% a year in passive income. What about Subnet 42? 190% plus a year in APY passive income. What about Subnet 59? 200+% a year in staking rewards. These are all backed by one of the greatest early stage investing minds of all time, someone who became a billionaire by identifying Bitcoin early and investing heavily into it. Now he's doing the same thing with these assets. And by the way, it's definitely not just high APY passive income. It's also price appreciation stacked on top of it. So here's the chart of Subnet 5, which we talked about last week. Again, we were buying this asset down here when no one else wanted it in the Patreon. And here it is now, right? Not only are we getting somewhere between 80 and 200% passive income, we're also getting price appreciation. That is exactly what we want as early stage investors, because we're getting paid to wait, and the amount we're getting paid is going up in value. So that's just one example. Subnet 5 was just acquired by the team that owns Subnet 14, which is TAO Hash, which mines Bitcoin. We talked about that one last week as well. So if you have questions about how to get set up with this, it's complicated, but also potentially super life-changing. That's what Barry Silbert is saying. So now's the time to learn how to dive into these assets. If you have questions, again, watch last week's video, step-by-step tutorial. But you can also reach out to me on Patreon and see how I'm taking advantage of this opportunity.